Hello again guys, it's Echo here back in another video. Guys, I've been thinking about the future of the channel and finally decided, on how I'm gonna operate the channel from right now. So let's get straight into the video. Guys, this is what if Naruto was the god of chakra, part 1, redo. Let's get straight into the video. So we're gonna start this video off with the Naruto's attack. The Naruto's has been released by Obito Chi to attack the Hidden Leaf village. So Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, fights very hard to save his village. His village comes first, but his family comes like on top of everything. Family is first. So he decides to seal the nine tails into his three children, which are Mito, Men, and Naruto. With Naruto being the oldest of the triplets. So Minato defeats the masked man, who the masked man then goes off and he still orders the nine tails to rampage to the village. But this time, the masked man, lost his concentration and, the nine tails, got out of the genjutsu. So, after the nine tails got out of the genjutsu, Minato then, used a different seal, which is not the Death Reaper seal, as he split the nine tails. Or what he thought he did. He thought that he put 50% of the chakra into Man Mito, 50-50, and, the soul into Naruto. But instead, he put the soul and 75% of the chakra into Naruto, meaning Naruto like is gonna be overpowered in this what if, so yeah, don't blame me. Then put the rest into Mito. But on his seals, there's a critical flaw which he did not each is not gonna notice until it's very late. As soon as Mito start training in the Cube's chakra, it's gonna seep out of the seals. The more they use, the less they have, and eventually it's gonna flow back to where the soul is, empowering the where the chakra came from. So let's continue the video. So Kushina and Minato then decided that for to protect everything, they're gonna have to sacrifice one of the children so that you can have the blame. So they then told Sarutobi, the third Hokage, that they're gonna take Menma and Mito away from the Hidden Leaf village so that they can train them in the Kyuubi's chakra while leaving Naruto here to become the scapegoat, which Sarutobi reluctantly agrees to this since he sees no other way out of it. So he then continues on with the plan, which he then agrees to. So guys, I have to pause the video for a bit. Sorry for the pause, guys. Let's continue with the video. So the third Hokage agrees to this plan, seeing that there's no other way out of it. So if Minato and Kushina go train the other Jinchuriki, the village will become very powerful. So the third Hokage then agrees to this. But the third Hokage then tells Minato about the tensions within the village and the Uchiha clan. And Minato is like, we just have to like kill off those, who agree with the plan, which the plan they're gonna do. Since the third was notified earlier, he tells them that you have to kill the people who are in the plan, just like kill out Fugaku and the elders. If that is done, everybody else, then follow under, who become straight. And you have to reintroduce the Uchiha back into the village instead of shutting them out, which the third then agrees to this, So Minato, then leaves with with Kushina and their two siblings, which they also take Jiraiya and Tsunade with them, so that Tsunade can help them, and Jiraiya can also teach them greater techniques. So Naruto is then put into the orphanage, where he's hated much more than in canon. This guy starved him, beat him up, some even went as far as to almost rape him, but they always stopped at the very end. So one day Naruto is being chased by a very big mob of villagers, and today is the 10th of October, which they wanna get revenge for the Kyuubi. Naruto is the Kyuubi in human form. They wanna beat him up. So Naruto is running as fast as his little legs would take him. He's running. He then runs into training ground 44, or nicknamed the Forest of Death. And, the villagers don't even care. They want to beat up the demon they fought inside. As Naruto then falls, into a hole. which then closes up at the top. As Naruto falls and falls and falls, he eventually hits the ground with a big thud, where he then gets knocked out. So a few minutes later, thanks to Naruto's incredible healing factor, since he has the full 9 tails with only 75% of the chakra, since Man might need to haven't started training yet with the Nitro's power, so it's not gonna come back to Naruto yet, just yet. So Naruto wakes up, as he sees he's in a cave, and the cave top, collapsed and closed up. So Naruto starts to walk around in this cave. As he's walking around, he finds a door, a strange door, which is like 6 tomoe on it. Since Naruto is a bit smart, he knows what those are. Says, those are the tomoes which look like they're of the Sharingan. Naruto says to himself. He then continues walking as he pushes the door open. As he does that, the door then opens as he heads inside. He sees, like some markings on the ground, on the floor. Some strange symbols and markings, which Naruto, just walks over to. As he walks over to, he then goes and stands, into the middle of these markings and symbols. He then feels something. Something is pulling. So Naruto then gets pulled into his mindscape. Not his mindscape that the Naruto says no. He gets pulled into a white plane. A white plane, like for the high existence, the gods, where the gods reside. Then gets pulled into a white plane. As he is pulled into this white plane, he sees a strange woman. This woman is Uno and lover is Kaguya Otsutsuki, the princess of the Otsutsuki clan. And supposedly, she's supposedly supposed to be married to, to Momoshiki Otsutsuki. But she didn't work out. So she then says, "Oh, greeting, young one." Vishnu then says, "Oh, hello there." Naruto says, "Do you know where I am?" Naruto says. She then says, "Oh, you're in another dimensional seal." Because says dimensional seal. What do you mean by that? Vishnu then decides to tell Naruto a story. She tells the that she's the progenitor of chakra, the first being to have chakra. As Naruto nods. As she then tells him, about the Shinju or the Tentacle, the Shinju tree, which gave her the chakra and everything. As she tells her the whole story of how she eventually went mad, and how her children sealed her up, which Naruto is pretty mad about. He then says how could they seal you up if you're only trying to help? Couldn't they have understood you? Which Kaguya is shocked by this. He didn't expect anyone to agree with her like this. Shinoda then says, is there any way to free you out of this place? Which Kaguya then says, yes, there is a way for me to become free. Naruto then says, can you tell me? Which Kaguya then tells him that if he finds a person and seals all the 9-tailed beasts into him or her, and then Kaguya also tells Naruto about Black Zetsu, because she trusts Naruto. After telling Naruto Black Zetsu, and then she tells Black Zetsu is her will in the world. So Naruto agrees to this, but he then tells Kaguya that there's a flaw in your plan. Which Kaguya then asks, so you say there's a flaw in my plan, what do you mean exactly by that? He then says, if this Hakarumo person, he should have put up countermeasures just in case he escaped. If he ever escaped, he might look for 2 people, which he might give both parts of his chakra, which might be able to seal you away. Naruto says to her, which Kaguya is shocked. She never really thought about it. So Kaguya then says, we might have to find a workaround around it. So Naruto and Kaguya continue to talk, and then Naruto then asks Kaguya if she could train him. Which Kaguya is surprised by this. Like, then she asks Naruto, why do you want me to train you? Which, Naruto then says, so that I can be as strong as you, so I can free you from this place and, save this world. This world is full of pain, misery, greed, and everything. As Naruto then tells Kaguya about his life story, which Kaguya is shocked about. She's shocked, she's seriously, she's like amazed that, a young person such as Naruto is not given into his hatred yet. She then asks Naruto, how hasn't he given into his hatred yet? And Naruto then says, I have given into my hatred lots of times, but I control myself. I see that there's really no point. What can I do against them? I'm just a weak little boy who doesn't have a future, who doesn't have any parents, who doesn't have anything. You know, Kaguya then hugs Naruto, Naruto then hugs Kaguya back. Kaguya starts to experience some emotions, some very strange emotions. Emotions she felt a long time ago. So, Kaguya, she gets overwhelmed by these emotions, She then agrees to train Naruto. So, in the outside world. In the outside world, it's only been like 3 minutes which have passed, this is like the discussion has been a long time. Which, back to Naruto. So, Kaguya then says, okay Naruto, I am going to train you, but first, there's some things I have to see first. So Kaguya then places her head on Naruto, she then opens her third eye. She starts to see Naruto's memories, the memories of his birth, who Minute and Kushina are, but they still, the Kyuubi, which they thought they still, the soul of the Kyuubi into Naruto, right? Instead they see the chakra and the soul. They also see like the plan of the third Hokage, and everything. Which, Kaguya is pretty pissed about, that the world she wanted to sacrifice so much for is turned into this. She then tells Naruto, about everything that, who his parents are, why they left him, he is the Kyuubi still inside of him, and everything. Which starts to make sense to Naruto that, this is why the villagers hate me. This is why, my parents favored my siblings over me and took them. They wanted to turn me into a weapon, something they could control by beating me up, and then the third god comes and saves me to make him look like, like a hero. But, then he decides he doesn't want to be Hokage, no. He wants to rule this world. He wants to rule this world with the freaking iron fist. Which, Kage is a bit surprised by, but he goes along with it. So, Naruto then asks Kage if, you're gonna be training here, won't you need, like, food, water, and everything? Which Kage then says, no, I'm going to place your body, in a comatose state, so that, I can fully train you in here. And then, those changes will affect your body outside. So, Kaguya then opens up her third eye, as, she then uses her power to contact Black Setsu. So we see Black Setsu, as Black Setsu, is just like in the Katsuki hideout, just chilling, waiting for his next assignment. As, he suddenly then sinks into the ground. As he sinks into the ground, he goes into this private cave of his, where, there's also like this same matrix. As, he then meditates. As, he then gets pulled, into this white plane, where he sees, his mother, Kaguya Otsutsuki, along with another person inside. As, Black Setsu then rushes over to his mother and says, Mother, are you okay? Which Kaguya then says, I am okay, my son. Black Setsu. Setsu, I need the knowledge of this world. I need the knowledge of the jutsus. I need knowledge of everything you're seeing. Which, Black Setsu happily complies, if she gives, Kaguya the knowledge. Which Kaguya, is at first a bit overwhelmed, but, she then suppresses it, and, presses everything. She then thanks Black Setsu and tells him, to continue with the plan. and she tells him that Naruto's gonna be joining him soon when he's ready enough. Which sits there, nods and heads off. So Kaguya, after processing all of this, starts to train Naruto. So in the outside village, Naruto is gonna be gone for 4 years. Outside village. But inside, this comatose state, Naruto's gonna be in there for about, 20 years inside there. Since the plane, time moves slow. It's purposely time moves very, very slow. No, time moves fast in this, so it's gonna be like 20 years there. And outside time moves slow, but inside the time moves very fast. So Naruto and Kaguya, I said Kaga. Naruto and Kaguya begin to train. They're training. Kaguya teaches Naruto chakra control, elemental manipulation. She also teaches Naruto the history of the world, histories of jutsus and everything. She also, teaches Naruto the arts of sealing. She teaches Naruto, some Otsutsuki techniques. He should not even ask Kaguya, if there was a way he could be like her. Kaguya just sniffles the loss and she then just says, no, Naruto, I might give you the way when you're ready for it. Vishnu then nods, it's not then continues to train with Kaguya. So mentally, Naruto's gonna be 20 years old, but physically, he's still gonna be, a bit buff and, almost like 14, something like half like 14, but it's gonna be a bit taller. His hair is also gonna be out. It's just that I don't have any photos right now. I'm still preparing the slideshow for that. Just in case you're doing the video, let's go back to the video. So Naruto has been training and training with Kaguya. As him and Kaguya have been growing closer and closer. And Naruto couldn't take it anymore. As their training comes to an, as their training ends for that particular time, Naruto goes over straight to Kaguya. He doesn't even talk. He just grabs her head. Then like kisses her deeply. Which Kaguya is a bit surprised, but she starts to kiss back. As she's sinking into this kiss. Naruto, then uses his imagination to create, like a bed and a bed, which then puts Kaguya on top of. Naruto and Kaguya then engage into an extreme makeout session. Not that I'm gonna go deeper into this. They then, after making out, Naruto then says, Kaguya, there's something I want to tell you. Which Kaguya then says, what is it, Naruto-kun? Kaguya, I love you, Naruto says. Which Kaguya is shocked by this, but she agrees, and then she tells Naruto that I love you too, Naruto. Which Naruto is very happy about, that Kaguya has accepted. He thought that Kaguya was gonna reject him, but she accepted him. So Naruto is pretty happy about this. So Naruto then and Kaguya start to date like a couple, which they go closer and closer. So Naruto's time in training comes to an end. Because she then tells Naruto that Naruto, there is a way for you to become like me, but you'll be giving up all your humanity. If you do this, you won't be able to become human again. Which Naruto then says, Kaguya, as long as I'm with you, I don't care. I have to get very powerful in order for me to defeat these other Otsutsukis you're talking about, Naruto says to Kaguya. Which Kaguya then nods, accepting Naruto's request. So she then tells Naruto for him to do this, she's going to have to give him a chakra food. And this chakra food, is a very, very special chakra food that, Kaguya planted at the very beginning when she arrived onto this planet. So She then tells Naruto about the chakra fruit and its location. She tells us that this chakra fruit is in Whirlpool country under it's under like in a secretive cave where it has been gathering lots of niche chakra since there's the highest concentration of niche chakra there. So it's been absorbing lots of chakra during the decades and times and everything for it to become extremely powerful. So she then tells Naruto that if you eat this chakra fruit, all of it, not just a little bit, and as well absorb the tree and meditate, you can become an Otsutsuki. If you wanna take it a step further, you can turn people into chakra fruits and eat them as well. Which Naruto then nods to this information which this Kaguya Hime has given him. So Naruto is said to see that Kaguya is calling, but she tells Naruto that as soon as he becomes an Otsutsuki, she's gonna be in communication with him. So Naruto then says, "Don't worry, Kaguya. By the time I free you, everything is gonna be perfect," he says, promising Kaguya. Which Kaguya then says, "Naruto-kun, I look forward to it." So Naruto then exits this place as he then heads out of the cave. Which he seals the cave up thanks to his excellent Finjutsu knowledge. So guys, this is gonna be the end of this video. I'm sorry for cutting you guys off this early. I know that you guys are now enjoying this. Please like and subscribe to the channel. 20 likes for the next part 2 for this video. I'm also gonna be doing what if not was trained by Madara Hashirama at the age of 6 pads. I know that you guys like that. And there's also gonna be many more what ifs to come on this channel. So goodbye guys.